In front of you right now are some of the most glamorous limited edition phones on the internet. I'm talking Disney princesses to high-end fashion designer collaborations, with the top few having their own surprising extra twists. So, settle into your most dripped-out chair. This one's gonna be, well, very sparkly. Starting with the Barbie phone by HMD, the company that's now behind Nokia phones. A real phone without distractions. Bit ironic for a hot pink device with a mirror on it. Whoa. I don't even know where to start. There's a friendship bracelet looking thing that I think is actually a bedazzled lanyard for the phone. You got a second backplate. Oh no, there's two spare backplates, and then the phone is in the middle. You know what's also really cool? And probably a sign that I'm a married man now? This is presented just like a jewelry box, right down to the dividers and the soft felt interior. Someone's had a very good time putting this together. Oh my god, it continues. There's a Barbie branded screen cleaning cloth. So these are incredibly fiddly. One second. These are additional pendants that you can add to further accessorize. Feel a bit like pencil erasers. Is this a battery? Oh my god. They made the battery pink. And then a sticker page, an even glitzier sticker page, and of course the instruction manual is in pink too. What a treat. Oh, so this is actually a screen on the front, while being a slightly distorted plasticky mirror. Ironically, about the most useful standby screen I've ever seen on a phone. Ah, right. So the actual software is kind of basic, although I will say, satisfying to use. Everything looks very themed, and each action has its own accompanying sound effect. What's this? Malibu Snake. There's a Barbie version of Snake. Do you remember the days when this game felt like all the entertainment you would ever need? Let's see what else. It's dual SIM for all the high-flying business people that this has clearly been designed for.
How are we gonna trace?
Charges with USB-C, which is highly unexpected. It's got one preloaded contact. It just says Ken. They have an actual phone number registered to this contact. BRB just transferring everything I have to my Barbie phone. A little bit nervous. What if he picks up? Call home. Oh. Ken? Okay there, buddy. What a weird thing to put on a phone. Obviously, the first thing anyone's gonna do when you add Ken as their contact is call that number. Is it like, so like girls can show other girls that, look, I've got Ken's number?
I don't know how girls think. We should talk to someone.
You know what's also super weird? So I'm trying to add a new contact, and you can add someone who's born in 1990, you can add someone who's born in 1980, but you can't do earlier than that, which shows you everything you need to know about who this phone was designed for. This Barbie meditation, you will hear a gentle gong sound at the start and the end of the session. So that's the start. Yep, okay, it's a timer. I don't know how I feel about this, to be honest. It's very charming, just how much effort and thought has gone into the thing. Like this whole series of Barbie tips for a better life, for example. But at the same time, it does feel very toy-like, and the functionality is no better than a phone, half the price of it. 6 out of 10, I'd say. L. Now all the way up at $450 now, it's time for the Disney Princess phone by Xiaomi, specifically by the looks of things, focusing on Snow White. If you somehow don't know Snow White, by the way, it's the story of a beautiful princess who, fleeing from her jealous stepmother, the evil queen, who becomes absolutely obsessed with trying to be the most beautiful woman in the land, takes refuge with 7 dwarves, only for the queen to try multiple times to kill her. So can you see that really faint outline of Snow White in this mirror? That's referencing how every time the evil queen asked her magic mirror who's the fairest in the land, the mirror would show Snow White. So inside, this logo is so cool. It cure poison. So that's Snow White with the queen. There's an insert which tells the story. I think I did it better. Come at me, Walt. I've got to say though, I love how dark and gritty they've made this thing. You know when you buy a Disney-themed phone, you expect it to be unicorns and fairies, but I think what they've done here is even better. So this box has the SIM ejector, which is a sword through the heart. Ouchie. It's the same emblem that was on the box, which the Queen wanted to put Snow White's heart into, which, yeah, this movie was a lot bleaker than I remember. What else? A sheet of stickers, manuals, and then the case. Oh, damn, this is special. It's got like a Louis Vuitton style patterning on the inside, and it's actually tastefully done. Not to mention the other side, which looks even more premium. This looks like the poison apple down here, which after the whole taking her heart out thing failed was the evil queen's plan B for ending Snow White's life. And it looks like it doubles as a pop socket. It's really embellishing the whole freaky after hours Disney film kind of vibe they got going on here. And we haven't even got to the phone. So below the thing is a generic looking cable and charger. So let's get to it. I'm so confused. There are 7 apps on this phone, nothing else. Snow White and the 7 apps? Oh, I just realized the battery icon is actually a poison apple. That's unique. And the charging animation is, oh god, it's that poison apple again. But this time it's bubbling. Man, if this is what the thing actually looked like and Snow White still put it in her mouth, I think it's fair to say she had it coming. There's apparently also some new camera filters. Princess. Oh, it's actually distorting my entire face. It's enlarging my forehead, it's bringing in my chin. The lipstick. I mean, it's quite impressive in a way, but I feel like the entire takeaway of the story was not to be obsessed with your looks. So slightly ironic too. And you also have Queen right next to it, which is... I look like a killer clown. So if you take a photo on Princess, it gives you this like rosy cheek effect. And if you take a photo on Queen, you just look all dead. Now here's what I'm most curious about. This phone has an actual mirror on the back, which is absolutely amazing, by the way. You know those times where you really want to see if you've got some fluff in your hair and your selfie camera doesn't quite cut it? This is actually useful, as well as being so thematically fitting. Because mirror, mirror on the wall was what the evil queen used to say every time she asked who was the fairest of them all. But what I've been wondering is, does this mirror also allow you to take selfies using your high quality rear cameras? Oh wow, so I actually have to get my face really far back for this to fit. Okay, just about. Oh wow, yeah, not at all. The actual camera angle is way wider than the mirror angle. Feels like a missed opportunity. A little bit of a letdown from what is otherwise an elite tier limited edition. I've just realized it takes bites out of the apple as the battery percentage goes down. 9 out of 10. Now, as we learned from Snow White, beauty isn't all about looks, which is why I am resolving to finding beauty in other places. Like the beautiful game, football. If you were lucky enough to see Argentina's Football World Cup victory in 2022, FIFA called it the greatest final ever. Both Argentina and France were absolutely going for it. They scored 3 goals each, 2 of which from Argentina came from Lionel Messi. And so the final came down to penalties, where Argentina made it look like they were shooting right, but instead dipped it beautifully into the bottom left corner to take that trophy home. And this phone is a celebration of that. And you can tell it's not a rush job too. So on the top of the insert it says Argentina, World Champion 2022. And then on the back is all the players on the team at the time. Even the substitutes get a shout out, that's cool. We got a super themed up charger. The cable is color matched too. And then the phone. Ooh, very nice. Oh, there's actually some more down here. There's the SIM ejector tool, which is a really 3-dimensional looking football on the back, and inside is a plain black case. I'm quite impressed with the details on this. So this number 10 is Lionel Messi's number, presumably because he was labeled as the best player in the entire World Cup, and it's got a really unique texture. The rest of this is basically designed to look like Argentina's 2022 kit, and it's even got 3 dates going across here: 1978, 1986, and 2022, the 3 times they've won the World Cup. Whoa. Not too sure about this. There's something a little too dead behind the eyes about the way these guys are standing here. And then... okay, there's a custom gold clock. There's white circular icons. Maybe that's to try and make them look like little footballs. Gotta say though, it's super strange how they've themed like 90% of the icons and then they've just left the final few. That's a red card offense right there. All they needed to do was to just set a rule so that the phone auto recolors any app that isn't already this blue color. And that's basically it. It's not a bad limited edition, but it's also far from a winner. This would be like a quarterfinals kind of phone. 5 out of 10. But what's even more tantalizing than a football win? Seeing your 2 favorite superheroes, Deadpool and Wolverine, finally come together for a movie. And I've got to say, these guys absolutely crushed the marketing of it. The Deadpool-themed cheeky Xbox controller, the custom, highly suggestive popcorn buckets they made, I was fully cracking up. And as part of that marketing, they also released a smartphone. Okay, so inside we got a board. It's even got a custom tag on top, that's cool. And then this is the synopsis of the movie, as if anyone would actually buy this thing without already knowing what happens. Oh, this is sick. So there's a right drawer and a left drawer. The right has a Wolverine tag on it. So that's got, okay, just a white power brick with a logo on it and then a plain white cable. But then the left drawer has the Deadpool tag, and that has a Deadpool SIM ejector, as well as a generic looking case. So then we've got the phone. I like the design of the rear. Like, even though these images of Deadpool and Wolverine are flat, the way that the lighting bounces off them is actually very 3-dimensional. And you might be thinking, Aaron, this isn't a beautiful phone. Ah, yes, but you haven't seen how Deadpool looks underneath his mask, because that is something special. Ah, There is nothing on the phone itself. This just looks like a completely stock experience. Not even a new wallpaper, which is just insulting to be honest, considering that you can now generate one in about 5 seconds. Unless these 3 prongs here are a reference to Wolverine's claws? Yeah, this is what desperation feels like. So my take is that the entire purpose of this phone was to generate hype for the movie. So they got their best crack team to make an awesome packaging experience and phone back design, and then that was their job done. That's enough to make something that generates some easy hype. So much for maximum effort. It's pretty disappointing considering how much customization can be done on a phone and how much was done for the much simpler merch products. 3 out of 10. But now we're moving on to the $1,000 plus offerings, starting with the Samsung Z Flip 6 Olympics Edition. Only 17,000 of these were made, and they were given exclusively to Olympic athletes. Sorry, oh my god. But yeah, on first glance, this does seem like a really strange product, but I can see why they do it. You know, it's not for people to donate to their cats, but nice try. Handing a free custom rare phone to people is going to generate coverage. And this is coverage from all public figures, specifically at the time when most people are paying attention to those public figures, while tying into the thing people are paying attention for. You'll notice this is a much thicker box than what normally comes with the Samsung phone. And that's because there's 2 parts here. So this top is a collab between Samsung and Berluti, a French leather maker, because, you know, it's the Paris Olympics. And this is actually quite a cool collab, because you might know that Samsung has a style of smart case called the Flip Suit. And this, while being a nice looking premium case in its own right, also grants the phone a matching live wallpaper to go with it. And the phone itself is in the compartment below that, a brave, bright yellow looking device. That's new. It's like a full-on inspirational speech. This is your moment. You, the athletes, are the heart of the Olympic and Paralympic movement. You don't say. Enjoy your new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6. I mean, it is an insane gift to give people, but it's just funny how they're trying to make a link between the Olympic movement and their smartphone, when the closest link is that you've got 2 of the 5 rings on the back. Wow, that is cool though. That is very cool. I guess this is meant to look like a running track. Now, the actual back of the phone looks pretty bad, I have to say. I assume the color was meant to be gold, kind of like a metal, but it actually just looks bright yellow. And all of this just reminds me of, you know, those people who get adverts plastered over their cars to earn a few extra bucks. Thankfully though, this case is beautiful. It's got a leather-like exterior, a felt-like interior, and that should switch the existing wallpaper, which is already very cool and Olympic themed, to this. It's like the opening of a movie. The phone's also got a custom Olympic themed always-on display, as well as a pretty basic theme applied to the icons. Oh, crud. Wait, so Samsung actually preloaded every single one of these phones with 100 gigabytes of 5G data. There's a whole bunch of different apps that allow the athletes to know what they're doing and share photos with each other, and also a prepaid, unlimited public transport card. Man, I think it's time for me to start training. Any chance competitive Pokemon is going to become an Olympic sport? Oh, and this is a game. So this whole thing was designed just for the 2024 Olympics. So you venture into these portals, the portals take you to different worlds, and then apparently if you score 10,000 points within the game, you could redeem that at the Olympics for a set of limited edition pins. Oh, no way. These are the actual athletes. That's cool. Now I'm just imagining like the entire rowing team missing their event because they were too busy collecting pins on their shiny new Galaxy Z Flips, or selling their limited edition phones on eBay for apparently over $10,000 a pop. 8 out of 10. Now, if you thought that was limited at 17,000 units, this next phone was made just 800 times. That is extremely low for a smartphone. But I gotta say, right off the bat, I'm not getting a great vibe. It looks fun, but also really tacky and cheap. So this is a figure of, to be honest, I know very little about it. So I'm gonna pull up our sponsor, the Opera browser, Command+/ to bring up Opera's integrated Aria AI. Who is this a model of? It says, the model is Doraemon. Good confirmation, but I probably could have worked that out by reading the front of the box. So what I'm more curious about is, why do people love him so much? Okay, Doraemon is a beloved character because he entertains while teaching moral lessons by tackling common issues like friendship, kindness, and problem solving. Holy moly, as of 2024, the Doraemon manga has sold over 300 million copies, making it one of the best-selling manga series of all time. So we also got a Doraemon limited edition flip suit case. That's interesting. We'll see what this does in a minute. And then the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip phone, which comes in its own separate retail box. But there is more. What am I looking at? Yeah, this looks like it's deconstructed during travel. Also, it's not very premium regardless. It looks like this magnet was meant to just stick onto here, so Doraemon can go on top, and then this is his backdrop. Okay, well, anyway, let's dive into the main package to see if Samsung has rescued it with the software. Oh my god, it's even worse than I thought. I feel a little lightheaded just looking at the thing. This might be the poorest user interface design I have seen in the last 5 years. The same is true for this Flipsuit Live wallpaper. There's so much happening, and it's also happening at a very low frame rate, which makes it even harder to watch. Also, thanks to Fujiko Pro for persistently reminding me that it's copyrighted. Actually, why don't we just use Aria's image generation? Make me a Doraemon wallpaper that's this resolution. And voila. Yeah, there you go. That's literally 100 times better than what was there before. Anyways, yeah, Opera's integrated Aria AI is just one reason to give the Opera browser a shot. It's also got tab islands, quick shortcuts to your apps, and a lot more, so link below to download it for free. Oh, the home screen doesn't look so bad. Oh, it's the rest of the user interface. My God, that is terrible. While I do have to give Samsung credit that they at least did try something different, this is the only time I have said this. I actually would have preferred it if they hadn't. How did we end up in a world where the Barbie phone had more class? 2 out of 10, limited edition. Now, while this next one is not technically a phone, this does feel like one of the most uniquely bizarre collaborations that I have to show you. So, Post Malone, you know, the famous artist, is a massive gamer, but he has apparently struggled to keep up that gaming while he's touring the world performing. So he decided to partner up with Backbone, a gaming controller company, to make this. And does it not look an awful lot like it just came straight from a Warzone? When have you ever seen a piece of tech packaged like this? And then you open it with this lever. It feels extremely authentic. That was satisfying. Oh, this is like a ration pack. This is how you often get food when you're out camping, or you're an astronaut. And so if we cut inside, oh wow. He really went to town with this presentation, that's for sure. Layers upon layers of it. And then inside of this box, we have the controller itself. I mean, design-wise, I gotta say, I wish all celebrities put this much effort in, but you should watch the video about celebrity tech if you wanna see what that's about. You can tell Post Malone cared about this. I'm loving the transparent green case. It's green because that's Post Malone's favorite color. There's some cool hidden text when you expand the controller. And this P&M are actually apparently glow in the dark. Let's try it. I think I do prefer this to LEDs that are just wasting battery for something you can't even see. Analog sticks feel really smooth and console quality. Shoulder buttons are really plush and comfy. And hey, this thing gives you your headphone jack back. I'm not so sure about the face buttons and the D-pad though. They're made of aluminium on this edition, which is incredibly bougie, but they're quite tiny and they have really high resistance, which reminds me a lot of Nintendo's Joy-Cons. Not a compliment. Oh, you can use this button to take a screenshot. That's really handy. Why can't you just hold down to take a screen recording? That would be such an obvious handy feature for people wanting to share their gameplay. Okay, so we've looked it up. It is actually meant to be able to do that, like hold down and take a screen recording. It is not working for us. But I did find on the way that these guys actually charge a monthly subscription for most of their features, which don't really look like they need one. It's not a cheap subscription either, making this a very expensive controller, considering that by default when it was launched it was $200, but then because it was limited to 500 units, we had to pay over $1,000 to actually get it. 6 out of 10 on balance. But this next one should be the epitome of beauty. So, Jimmy Choo, the fashion brand that charges $1,000 for a pair of boots, $4,000 for a little bag, has worked with Honor to create a luxury flip phone. And this one actually comes in not one, but 2 boxes. So let's start with the smaller one. This is very nondescript, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't excited. Why do I have a feeling I could sell this bag for as much as I paid for the phone? This is bizarre. There's something inside. It looks like a second longer strap for if you want to wear the bag over your shoulder, I assume. It's very weird, because what does this have to do with a phone? Oh, it's a flip phone. So the phone will actually fit inside this bag. That's cool. So then the second package has the phone on top. It does initially look like there's something in this insert, but I can't see a way to open it. And then on level 2, that's a pretty basic looking SIM ejector for Mr. Choo. Oh, I'm quite surprised. And then just manuals in there. This is cool. There's 2 cases in here. So one is a matte hard plastic case. The other is, the braver choice, the more textured bedazzled option with a ring. that would double as your phone holder too, plus a lanyard. It really is quite well thought out. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think I'm the target Jimmy Choo customer, but I could totally see that someone who is willing to spend north of $1,000 on a pair of shoes would very much enjoy matching their phone case with their handbag, with their phone, with their outfit. And at the very bottom, a shoe pendant, because they make shoes, I guess. And now for the device itself. Well, that is fancy. So the wallpapers on the inside and the outside screen also match everything else. It's nothing super high effort, but I can see the appeal. And there's also a custom gold watch face on the front here, but did they forget to add the numbers? How am I supposed to tell the time off an unlabeled octagonal emerald? I do like the fact that there is barely any crease when you open the phone, which can't be said for the last few flips that were based off Samsung phones. This though, this right here, I do not understand. Whose idea was it, after our pal Jimmy has gone to all the effort of making a custom phone, custom handbag, 2 custom cases, exclusive wallpapers and more, to put the icons like this, off-center, not filling the row, and covering the wallpaper? I can't lie though, very cool limited edition overall. I'd say that's a 9 out of 10, and I will catch you in the next one.